investigation, solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind in the darkness, all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be. For justice wheels keep turning, Granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When Granny's gone, busters run, no victims left in vain. Bravery in her veins, true she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Hello, hello, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? We're all doing well. We are blessed and honored to have Novah with us. Sure, she's on the screen.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm not sure what's going on here, though. I think I'm...
Not letting you put a picture up?
Leave studio.
We can hear you, or at least I can.
Yeah. And the other thing is, usually it says up top to share to my channel, and you just click it, and I don't see it there. But what I'm just gonna go to my live here and tell everybody to go over to your channel.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, wait a minute. YouTube. Connect your YouTube account to join the live chat. Huh? Oh, no, that's yours. I knew that this was going to be kind of like, because it's new, I don't know how to do any of this.
I'm not very good with it either. This is the first time I've had. One person up, but just for a short period of time. But all right, I'll quickly say hellos here. We've got hello, Ginger, Rob, Trees, Valerie, Belinda. Hello, hello. It's good to see you, hon. Rob, Trees. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Come on in. We're going to get started here shortly. All right. Let's start with our spotlight on the missing. We have Derek Rodriguez and Jaden Hernandez, brothers, missing since August 21st, Los Angeles, California. Derek is 2 years old and Jaden is 10 years old. They were last seen August 21st. They may be in the company of an adult female relative. Sounds like somebody took them from their home. That's not a good thing ever. And I know at the end of our live last night, we were wondering if Emmanuel Harrow had been found. He still has not been found. Last night, they did have Jake Carl out there on Highway 60, but they didn't find him. And I'm thinking where he left them, if he didn't bury them, or even if he did, depending on how deep, animals taking him off. So he is still missing, and I hope that they find that baby. He can be laid to rest properly. Jonathan Wang, 21-year-old autistic male, missing since March 30th. Last possible sighting was Kirkland, Washington. He is high-functioning autistic, but he's only ever been with his family, and he presents as an 8 or 9-year-old. He really needs to be home with his family. So if anybody sees him, just call 911 immediately. Let's not forget our buddy, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Sebastian has been missing since February, well, last seen February 25th, 2024. $500,000 reward. Nobody's talking. We need to keep up prayers that he gets home with Seth. Travis Decker is still out there, guys. Somewhere, possibly in Washington or one of the states right around there. He is wanted for 3 counts of first-degree red rum and first-degree kidnapping of his beautiful little girls, seen here with their mother, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia. He's considered to be armed and dangerous, so if anybody does see him, just call 911. And basically, we are going to talk about our precious little babies, Jack and Lily, today. That's what we're here for. And I know it's an old picture. It's just one of my favorites. How are you doing? Were you able to get it to come up, Novah, on yours? All right. Let's see.
Hi, sorry, I had to put you on mute because I was telling the other folks to go over to your channel.
Aw.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't show at the same time?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how to do it, to be honest with you, because this is new to me. Like when I've gone on other creators shows, it usually says up top, to click here if you want to show live on your channel as well, and then it'll go, but I don't see that on yours, so I just don't even want us to worry about it because I'd rather us focus on the show than
Gotcha.
yeah, and
I
I don't
wonder
know
if they're
why.
using a different streaming service than I use. That could be, and I've never done it before.
No, it's
They're
StreamYard.
using StreamYard too?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna worry about it because it takes too much time to figure all that stuff out. So
Okay.
yeah, I'd
All
rather
right.
stay focused on what we're doing.
Okay. So we really wanted to talk about these, the court document dump, guys. Novah, I guess I'm just going to let you start what you thought was the most important part about this document dump, in your opinion.
Okay. So again, anybody that's in my chat, please go over to Granny's Crime Busters. Mark just put her YouTube channel. Thank you, Mark. In the comment in the chat there. So just click on that and go on over to Granny's to see us both together, okay? Sure, I will start. I'm just going to put my mic on mute. So, what did I get out of it? Wow. First, I want to say, yeah, the biggest, well, there's a few things that stand out to me. But right off the bat, I want to say the witness seeing the 2 children. I personally am not paying much attention to that. I know it sounds, I know, something that people would kind of hone into, but that to me just doesn't add up. The description, the pigtails, the age. I don't know if Lily's hair would have went into pigtails because I mean I have 3 posters, 3 of the posters, and that was the most recent haircuts they had just had. I guess they just had those haircuts. I can't see that length of hair going into pigtails. And there was no Amber Alert put out. So, I mean, that's a big thing. And RCMP made it very clear that they were going to that they would put an Amber Alert out, obviously, if they thought the kids were abducted. And they specifically said, make, model of a car. That's the stipulations, right? To put out an
Yeah.
Amber Alert, there needs to be a witness to a vehicle, possible make, model, license plate, and the individual who's supposedly abducting. But there was no Amber Alert, so myself, I'm not paying too much attention to that. And also to note is, although that was noted in the documents shared with us, right? Excuse me. That tip was shared. However, the tip that we all know of, that the neighbor has confirmed in our CMP, states they confirmed that they received on the 8th of May. Now that's the other thing. That tip, I mean, she saw them supposedly on the 2nd, and that tip wasn't given until the 31st. I mean, that's kind of bizarre, considering everybody and their dog, not just here in Pictou County, but in the world, knows about those children missing, Lily and Jack Sullivan. Um, and yeah, so the tip that was put in on the May 8th about the 5-speed car, but through the neighbor, that is not there in those notes, nor is anything noted about the application to access CPS documents, which, I mean, I know they would not give us information regarding the kids, of course, in those documents. It would be redacted.
Mhm.
However, you would think there would be some kind of notes there that they were to, that they would have accessed that information. In those 12 applications, there's 12 applications that they're saying. I mean, it would certainly make sense to me that that would be one of those applications.
Mhm.
So in my opinion, that shows it's obviously being carefully chosen what's being released to the public. We're not seeing everything, of course. Hence the reason for the early date of May. Uh, some of that stuff being early May, the first month of the investigation is being seen. And I mean, I understand that. I understand that they need to maintain the integrity of the investigation, and they can't show us everything, and there's gonna be redactions there, and they're gonna pick carefully what is shown to the public. Um, excuse me. Yeah, so and, yeah, do you want me to keep going, or do you want me there's so many
I'll touch base on what you touch base on, and then we'll continue on.
Sure.
I completely agree with you about that alleged sighting thing, and from May 31st with that woman. I just can't endorse that at all. I can't. Um, First of all, what the children were wearing was completely different. The little girls, what they say, 9 or 10.
Mhm.
Um, I can't give that any credence at all. I really can't. And I totally agree with you that there was a lot of stuff that was redacted, but there's also so much more that they have not revealed,
Yeah,
in my opinion. Um, I know a lot of people, because of this document dump, feel that the case is cold, and I don't
right.
believe that at
No,
all.
I don't either.
Yeah, um, I just really don't. Whether they messed up part of the investigation or not, I think that's for later. Um, I I'm just hoping and praying that what they're doing now and moving forward is everything. I mean, they're dotting their I's or crossing their T's. I'm just praying that they are following up everything that they can in this case, and that um, we're going to have a resolution. I still believe we'll have a resolution. I think there's going to be a trial eventually. You know, I could be
Yeah.
wrong, but that I really do believe that that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. I really, really hope so.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, 2 kids, and first of all, things started off a little awkward here because I had to go back over to my channel to tell everybody to come over to yours, but thank you very much for having me on and,
Oh,
uh, and us, doing this together. I'm just gonna tell
yeah.
people again, once again, to go over to your channel because they're coming into my chat. Um,
Gotcha.
uh
Thank you, Chelsea. Chelsea's telling everybody to come over here.
Oh,
We'll have
good.
we will have to do this again, and we'll figure it out. We will figure it out, Nova,
Yeah.
so that we
It
can
it
simultaneously
Yeah,
screen at the
we'll come
same
on
time.
a yeah, exactly. We'll come on a little like maybe
Yeah,
15 minutes to 20 minutes earlier and
figure it
there,
out.
get
Yeah.
over to Granny. And I just put the comment up. Mark put your link in the chat, so I just kept that up so they'll see that when they come in. Um
Rob
yeah.
had a question for us. He said, I have a question to throw out there. I've been hearing that when the police first initially go into the trailer, was there water in the tub and the sinks? It didn't say in the documents. Um, I have not heard that. Have you?
I've
Nova?
never heard that. No.
Yeah, I never heard that either. And keep in mind, guys, those documents don't have everything. That isn't everything that they have.
I
Those
wonder if
documents.
Belinda Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, Belinda, do you know? Maybe. Um, I we're I don't know if you said you were there the day or the day after. After a while, all this stuff just starts
Yeah.
going wacky in my head. It's
Yeah.
trying to remember which day what happened, uh, and I didn't take notes. You took notes, or didn't you, Nova?
Oh boy, did I ever. Yeah.
When I take notes, I'm very detailed, and then when I'm trying to find something, I never find it.
Oh
So
my.
I've come to the conclusion that notes don't help me because I just
That's cute.
nothing is organized the way it should be. Um, so Belinda says, not that I know, but I was there on Saturday. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, that you were there on Saturday.
I
Yeah.
I
Where
never
did
heard
you hear
that
that,
one.
Rob? That's a good question. It'd be interesting to know where you heard that from. Yeah, hi, Marlene. And by the way, welcome everybody that's coming over from Nova's channel. We appreciate you coming in here. Sorry, we just didn't get everything worked out to do everything simultaneously. I kind of feel bad that I didn't get with you earlier to figure that out. Um,
Oh gosh, we'll figure that out some other time. It's all a learning curve, right? It's all a
it,
learning curve.
it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if Charmaine is here, Charmaine, thank you for the 5 memberships and your membership as well. I did see that there. And I have to say thank you before I forget. um
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
So,
awesome.
some other thoughts that I had, and hi, Belinda. Hi, Belinda and Chelsea. And Chelsea, thank you for being over there, telling everybody to come to Granny's channel. That's awesome. You're a sweetheart. Um, yeah, so that's one thing that stood out to me. Um, and it stood out to me what the officer had stated on May 16th, how he said it. And he said, at this point in the investigation, so at this point doesn't mean forever and for always. uh, I do not have reasonable grounds, which is we know is evidence, right? So that means he doesn't have the evidence at that time to believe a criminal offense has occurred. Um, and when I hear stuff like that, I kind of compare it to my career as a nurse because everything is so evidence based. And I think if somebody had an infection, although I know they have infection, I can see all the signs and I can note all the symptoms, and I know they do. But
Mm.
I need to wait, um, to prove that evidence. I can't just call the doctor up and say, "Hey, send me over some Cetera for so and so. They have an infection." It's not evidence proved yet, proven. So I kind of think of it in that way, right? And it's the same idea, as a judge, a jury, and a courtroom, right? They need the evidence to be able to prove that to those people,
Yep.
right? So so he's saying, no evidence yet to believe a criminal offense has occurred. Polygraphs were conducted to help rule out criminal offense because Lily and Jack are still missing. And where are they? Because it doesn't seem they're in the woods. And I mean, one thing that I would, a question that comes into my head is if if they still thought there was any chance at all of them being in the woods, why isn't that where they would be putting the resources? Not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Into Nova Scotia major crime unit and all everything, the time and money. I hate to say that, but it's time and money and putting the efforts where they think that where it should be, and which the only other thing would be in the woods, if nothing criminal's going on. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
I
agree with you 100%.
yeah.
The fact that they stopped, I mean, they said it was the biggest search in Nova Scotia history, which you guys would know more about that than I would since you're from there. But the fact that they stopped tells me they had some kind of evidence that those children were not there anymore. They're not releasing that, right? I get that. And I know people get really frustrated about that, but honestly, I don't want them to release anything that would jeopardize the case, because if somebody did something to these precious little babies, I want them held accountable in a court of law.
Right.
I want them convicted. So if that means that we, the public, has to suffer with very little knowledge right now, I'd rather do that than to know that they're going to be brought to justice at a later date. Um, I did reach out to RCMP myself. I have not heard back from them. But my concern was that since the document dump, um, everybody's just really going after RCMP, more so than before, right? I've always had stragglers in my chat going after RCMP, and I get that, people have different experiences, right? But I wanted to know, because I've always been one to, as we say here in the States, back the blue, right? I had a son-in-law who was retired officer, detective, um, and I've always been one to back the blue as a whole, not the corrupt ones like Sumner County.
Mm,
But I do. I mean, my first go-to is to back them. And I said to them, can you give me anything? Because there's so much bad being said, you know, and people are believing this case is cold and they feel that you guys dropped the ball. And is there anything that you can give me without jeopardizing the case, right? And I've not heard back. So, and I did tell them I wouldn't want them to give me something, which I know they wouldn't anyway. But
Excuse me.
so I have not heard back from them, which is a little disappointing, but that's okay. I'd rather have them not answer me than to give me something that would jeopardize the case.
Right.
Besides,
Yeah.
besides which, we know that they're busy. What was it now? Over 9,000 videos that they're watching.
Mm. Wow.
I mean, can you imagine doing that?
Yeah.
I can't even, just trail cam video footage. Can you imagine having to watch that? I mean, you really can't take your eyes off it, but yet your eyes are going to go buggy, Um, I can't even imagine how much time that takes.
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah.
No, I can't imagine. Yeah. Just from doing what I'm doing,
Right?
and my brain really can't tolerate a lot of it just because of my neuro issues. Um, so it really exhausts me. I don't have a lot of stamina, but I cannot imagine what they're going through, having to go through all that. And that's just one aspect of it, right? Like,
Right. Yep.
wow.
That's,
But,
yeah.
I'm not giving up on them yet.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I really I don't believe anybody would, be willy-nilly about this, and any of those RCMP officers would be willy-nilly about any of this. Now, have they
Yeah.
possibly made mistakes? Possibly. I mean, in
Yeah.
anything, mistakes can be made, and this is
I mean, they're
not
human. They're
exactly.
just
And
like us, right? It's so,
right, right.
uh,
I mean, I made mistakes as a nurse. Like, it happens. We all make mistakes in our professions. I've
I
worked at
feel
Tim
like
Hortons
sometimes
and
they're being held to a higher standard
mhm.
than we are,
Well,
and
that's what happens, right? People forget
yeah,
they're human.
yep.
Yeah.
And it's not fair, right? But it is what it is. And I get that some people have legit reasons. I get that, you know, but it's that's all the more pressure on them because you know when it comes to two little babies, they're taking it seriously, you know. I think they'd
Absolutely.
love nothing better than to find these babies
Mhm.
and to bring them
Mhm.
home to
Yep.
Belinda.
Did you see the picture, when there was some pictures when they did the vigil in front of the, RCMP, and, um, there's 2 officers that were I don't know if they were leaning up against a pole or standing in front of it. Did you ever see that? One has his arms crossed.
I didn't notice that. I saw the two officers standing there, but no.
One of them is the guy that spoke during the first when they were announcing that they were ending the search and rescue.
Oh,
One was him, and the other fellas was a taller fella. But the looks on their faces, um,
yeah, I
you
did see
know,
that.
yeah, and you know what direction they were looking in? I'm from here, and I know where the vigil was.
Mhm.
And I know what direction they were looking in, and I know who they were looking at because I know who was right there in that direction, and
Yeah.
it was Daniel.
Yep.
And one guy, he's got a look on his face like if looks could kill.
Yep.
And, and the other fella, the guy that had made the announcement that was all choked up during the announcement when they were gonna scale back, like, he just looks like he's about to crumble, you know?
Yeah.
So, no, they're
Yeah.
gonna do the best they can. Um,
And we have to remember that many of these officers have families with children of their own out there, probably
yeah.
the same age as Jack and Lily, right?
Oh gosh, yes, yes.
And you know what they're thinking. They're thinking, if this was my kids out there, right? And yeah, looking at Daniel is very telling. He likes to think that he's their buddy, but I, yeah,
Hmm.
no, they're gonna let him think that, but they're
Yeah.
not. Yeah,
Yeah, anybody they think that may have had something to do with this. And
absolutely,
and at the end of the day, if it does come to the point where they do conclude, no, nothing nefarious took place here, then you better start putting some resources into getting every single dog out there that you can provide, and
something somewhere.
find them. You know, if
Yeah,
they are out there, if you do conclude that, yeah, no, they're out there, nothing nefarious took place, then go find them because they need to be brought home for a proper, you know,
yes, absolutely.
yeah.
What are your thoughts about the other things that they found out there? Purple piece of fabric, sock.
I had already heard about that.
You
It was,
had,
yeah, because that was over the radio. That was actually uh, over the radio, and I had listened to that early on, but it was stated, it was one of those things that was stated, well, no, that had nothing to do with anything, it was just stuff they found, but now finding out that it was found near where the cluster, which now we found that out too, that's something different because we knew
yeah,
one boot print, now it's a cluster.
yeah,
So, yeah, so it confirmed it for me, I knew there was some other things that had been found that hadn't been, uh
I
said
was
that.
tipped off by the fact that there were other things in one of the articles where the RCMP were talking. They kind of alluded to it. They said something about all the materials that we found on the ground and from the air. And
Right.
and
Yes.
then they said, and the pink blanket, right? So I knew that there were other things that they found besides the pink blanket because they mentioned the pink blanket, but they also talked about the other things that they found from ground search and the air. I
Yeah.
was like, guys, there's more, you know, and
Yeah.
there still could be more. We don't know, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It could
Yeah.
be more. I still wonder. I still feel like that pink blanket was planted.
Yep.
I really,
Possibility.
yeah. Um,
It was either planted or it was there accidentally as somebody was trying to get rid of stuff and somehow it, in the wind or whatever, got pulled away from
what?
whoever
And the
had it.
fact, Daniel, what was he doing on that trail?
Mhm. Mhm.
In my opinion, if the RCMP did anything wrong, they should not have let him go out.
Oh, no, no. And that is one thing. That's what I'm saying, like, I'm sure there were mistakes made because to me, that was a big no-no. They should have had that very, well cordoned off and nobody but not just RCMP, but whatever, police force was helping them as well and search and rescue. But definitely the whole family members should have been taken right out of there, put them up in a hotel or whatever you have to do, get them out
Yep.
of there, and do not let anybody in.
Do you think
Definitely.
Janie would have went willingly?
Well, too bad for her, right? That female RCMP officer would have taken care of that.
Yeah, I
She
agree.
wasn't putting up with her BS. She was like, she'd be like, "Well, fine, Janie, I'll just have to drag you out of here in handcuffs."
I agree. I
I
agree.
think sh I
I
think
think
she
that
met her match.
they should have put them up. They should have taken them or trucked them all over to Earl's house. I don't know, but they
Something,
should
yeah.
not have been on that property when the police were trying to search the property. You
Yeah,
know,
get them out of there and don't let anybody in.
yeah,
Yeah. That so
nobody should have
I
been
will
allowed.
say that there were some mistakes there, definitely, definitely, but, we're not used to this here. This doesn't happen here. In fact, I don't think it's ever happened here, ever. I don't
Yeah,
ever remember one child that I ever remember, like, I
yeah,
I
because
honestly can't.
the Dylan Ayler situation was different.
Yeah, and that was in Truro, and it is a little different. It is.
Yeah, because
Although I think something funny went on there too in the sense that, maybe grandma wasn't telling the whole truth about how long her back was turned. Did she get distracted with
yeah,
the dog or whatever? But it is a little bit different.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he was allegedly outside
Mhm.
and walked off, right?
Yeah,
Um,
very close to
this,
water.
yeah,
River.
this is totally different. But I think back to John Benet Ramsey. They let everybody in that house,
Yes.
right? And they said they changed things around and they made rules and whatever. Well, they didn't learn because the same doggone thing happened in Sebastian Rogers' case.
Mhm.
Everybody was in his house as well.
Yeah.
In fact, Seth said when he got there, he just walked right in. Nobody stopped him.
Yeah.
You know, they need to treat these from the get go like a crime
Right.
scene,
Yes, somebody
but
said that
because
in
they
my
don't
chat one
know.
day.
Yeah,
Exactly. Until you rule it out and it is, for 100% fact, yeah, nothing nefarious, it isn't missing, then it should be treated like a crime scene right off the hop.
yeah. They should go there first, go to the worst case scenario, treat it like a crime scene in case, right?
Yep.
And then if it's ruled out later, that's fine. But I agree with kind of what you said earlier, how they're saying, as at least as of July 16th, I think they use
Mhm.
that date,
Yep.
that it wasn't a criminal case, but yet they got the criminal investigation unit on it, got these other ones on it.
Yep.
and
Yep.
and they have said the same thing in Sebastian Rogers' case, you know, and it's
Mm.
like you're publicly stating that there's nothing criminal involved, but it's obvious that you're looking at it in a criminal way.
Yep. Yep.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, they made a statement mid-May. At this point in the investigation, I do not have reasonable grounds to believe there's a criminal element. And then in mid-July, now there was something. Oh, and then on May 22nd, they stated that it can progress to criminal at any time should the elements of a criminal offense be identified. That was May 22nd. And then mid-July, they stated again, at this point in the investigation, Lillian Jack's disappearance is not believed to be criminal in nature. Well, again, not enough evidence.
Yeah.
And then in August, on August 22nd, uh, which is the day that these come out. The RCMP gave Globe and Mail a statement, and it stated RCMP Nova Northeast Major Crime Unit states they continue to lead a very active investigation. So they're leading the investigation under the Missing Persons Act with assistance from other Canadian agencies. No scenario is being ruled out and no circumstances have been confirmed.
Mhm.
They also state they are receiving forensic results and decline to answer if the investigation has turned criminal, which is kind of strange when you think about it because in mid May and in mid July They're showing
Yeah.
us in their notes that they're stating at this point it hasn't they have no reason to believe that
No,
yet. And then in August, they're not willing to answer if it is or not, right? On August 22nd.
exactly.
So, yeah.
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 Okay. So Ginger said, question for Nova. Is it normal for the media to put these types of documents out in a missing persons case in Nova Scotia?
Um, Anything involving the RCMP, no. They don't do anything like this ever. No. And actually, that's another thing that stands out to me is the fact that they did that. And in my opinion, the only reason why they did it is because Belinda, who we all know is the grandma and is
Mm-hmm.
the biggest voice for Jack and Lily,
Yep.
she notified them the day before this information came out, and she notified them of her intentions to gain guardianship of Lily and Jack, which is obviously going to open up some doors as far as her accessing some information. She's also requested She also requested for more transparency from the RCMP in the early stages of when Lily and Jack went missing. And that was in the Globe and Mail, which wasn't too long ago. And, so they can now say they've given more transparency to her and the rest of us, although, the documents are heavily redacted and we know everything's not in there because we know other tips and others. We have information that we know is not in there.
Right.
Um, but we understand that, right?
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, they can say now they've given some transparency, and because that, and this is not to say anything bad about RCMP, but it is an organization. It's a government organization. It's federal,
Mm-hmm.
and part of their focus always will be, um, and I've worked for the government. I know how this all works. They do need to maintain the integrity of the RCMP as well, right? So they want to be appeasing somewhat as well, and yeah, show good faith type thing, and especially with Belinda having such a voice, right?
Right.
This is all in my opinion, guys. All in my opinion. Yeah.
Gotcha. Do
So,
you think that there is a possibility that they're releasing some of this stuff because they leaked some stuff, what, not quite a month ago again as well? Do you think they're leaking stuff to put pressure on who they suspect and they want them talking, hoping they'll talk or?
oh, I think that's a part of it as well. I think this, like when I looked at this, and I mean, when I first read it, I was kind of shocked because I was actually in a live and we didn't expect it and it came out. And so I pulled it up and I had to keep reading stuff over and over because I'm just like trying to comprehend it.
Yeah.
But when I took the time to go over it again, I thought this benefits many things for them, right? So it gives, it's giving Belinda what she requested with the in the newspaper about the transparency,
Yep.
about the fact that they know she's gonna be going to court and there's gonna be doors opened anyway. So just be somewhat appeasing, right, and maintain their integrity, and um, and the other part of it, yes, what you just said. So
Yeah.
those three things came to my mind, and not to go too deep into it because I hate to.
And
You want them to be able to do that, but yes.
I think it kind of in a roundabout way worked, maybe, because after that first leak, Daniel got quiet.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely. Oh, did he ever? Yes. Yeah.
whereas he was really talking before that. And I really found that interesting. That
Yeah.
all of a sudden he just shut up, wasn't to be heard
Oh, yeah.
anywhere. And
Yeah.
it was like, wow. And if we're seeing this, how much more does our CMP see this, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Belinda says the detective that interviewed me was surprised people were coming and going out the home without police being there. I agree.
Mhm.
That uh,
Yeah.
that crime scene, if it was a crime scene, if something happened to those babies inside that trailer, that was contaminated big time,
Yep. Yep. For
right
sure.
from the beginning. That's awful.
Yepper.
Chelsea
Yep.
says, I would love to know why RCMP ruled out abduction so soon. I know they think it unlikely, but given the children obviously played outside regularly, I just don't understand.
Mhm. Yeah, and
Um,
I always said that from the beginning, and then once things I started to kinda see the picture of what was going on that property, then I kinda didn't question it anymore, because
yeah,
I'm thinking, "Okay, well, maybe that's why. Maybe they're just so." There's stuff that we just don't know that they know and they've seen, and they know, "Okay, something happened here in this property," right?
yeah,
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know,
yeah.
because I always
Well,
wondered that too.
it's really difficult to know. One of the things I've noticed, so it's a law enforcement thing because you have two different countries here. But in Sebastian Rogers' case, um, many people wondered why they said there's no abduction, right? When it's obvious he was carried out of the house because there was no scent
Mhm.
leading from the house anywhere, none whatsoever.
Wow.
Um, so it was obvious that he was carried out. What I've noticed is that they think if it's familial, like a familial abduction, they don't consider that a crime abduction kind of thing,
Hmm.
if you will. Other than like if it's like an estranged parent taking a child, they do consider that an abduction. You know, um, like if Seth would have taken Sebastian and ran away with him or something and had a vehicle, then they would consider that an abduction. But if they think that the parents caused harm or corroborated with someone to take the children, they do not consider that abduction. I've noticed that in both these cases.
Wow.
It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand
Yeah.
why they think like that, but I've been picking up on it with both of these cases.
Yeah. Like, you're not saying that's their protocol, but you notice the consistency of seeing that, like, with
Exactly.
different cases. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um
it doesn't mean that the children weren't,
Oh, exactly, exactly.
but yeah. Um,
Belinda's asking us a question there, and,
okay.
uh, she had said Granny and Nova.
Let me get in here. Okay. Granny Nova, do you guys feel the RCMP were throwing Cody's name out there for a reason to warn me off somehow? Um, that's a really good question, Belinda. I I don't know.
I think all of what is in there is pretty much to let the public know. Like, okay, so the public knows about the CPS. Well, hey, look at this. And the bruised eyes now. right? And that a teacher here, had called CPS. But hey, look what they said in this interview. Malaya's saying that Daniel's not even Daniel's fine with the kids and that he wouldn't hurt them, right? Um, and the same thing with Cody. And hey, yeah, exactly, Belinda. Like, and hey, and look what she's saying about Cody here, right? And we took our time to go investigate this. Um, and they knew that wasn't true, but they have
Yeah.
to go investigate it, right? And
Yeah,
both times, no, they conclude he wasn't Cody was at home, you know.
right. And here's my thinking is that they they purposely put, I can't even think of that lady's name that said she saw two kids walking on the road. Obviously that was bogus.
Uh huh.
But they purposely allowed that to be in the court documents along with what Malaya said about Cody.
Right.
And they knew both those things were not true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. And it's not them misleading anybody, right?
No,
They didn't make
no,
that stuff up and put it in there, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, they
Uh,
didn't. So, but why did they allow that all to be in there? I think, Belinda, I'm going to say no. I'm, I sincerely hope they weren't trying to warn you off, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
yeah. Well, I think she means warn me of somehow. Basically to let Belinda know that, uh, you know, like I don't like not just you specifically, Belinda, but the public in a sense. No just that the same as um I
There's
mean
a
it
lot of
said
garbage out there,
yeah,
a lot of
um
false tips.
just that what did it say? Like Daniel and both Janie have said Daniel put that blanket in the garbage. Janie says he did, but yet in the court documents, it's saying Malaya said you put the blanket in the garbage, right?
Wow.
So, did anybody else pick up on that?
No, I
It,
didn't.
yeah,
Good
Dan-
job.
Daniel's always said he's the one who put that in the garbage. So it's just almost like they're just letting the public know that this is what we're going through too, right? Like she's sending us off to Cody. She's saying she's the one that put the blanket in the garbage, and it's no different. It's hard for them to get a clear understanding of what the heck is going on here when you're dealing with liars, right? And
Yeah.
what's the purpose of those lies? Like, what's the difference if she put it in the garbage or Daniel or Janie or a monkey did? Like, why are you break down to something so simple, lying, right?
Well,
Um,
and I remember reading Malaya's text saying that her and her and Daniel told the truth to the RCMP, but now Daniel to the media is telling everybody something different.
yeah, so she
But she's doing the same thing.
right. Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, girl, you've lost me. I'm done
Yeah.
trying to even protect you anymore at all because I can't when somebody lies, what's the old adage? Somebody tells you who they are, believe them.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean,
And
her
they
and
show you.
Daniel, Janie, Durwood have all told us exactly who they are.
Mhm. Yes, and birds of a feather flock together, I'll say it over and over
E-
and over. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't, at first I thought, well, maybe it was DV. Was she scared about leaving? No, she had the opportunity to leave and take those kids. Those kids could still be with us today if she
Mhm.
had gone in that U-Haul with Wade and her mom. and
Yeah.
she chose not to go.
Yeah.
Who knows how many other times she chose not to leave that dirt
Yeah.
bag. I'm sorry, that's what he is.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
um,
Well, anybody throwing boots at kids, and I don't get the whole wrench thing above the door, knowing that that could come down and whack a kid on the head. Like, is it supposed to be some
ah,
kinda like,
I don't
my first thought was, like, are you trying to torture them? Or, like, what are you doing? Like, what? Like, you don't
know.
do that with children in the house. Like, you just don't do that.
No,
And why did CPS not do education with these 2? Like, what have they done? And thank God Belinda's gonna look into that one too, because, I mean, the systems need to change. There has to be, and it's not blame, it's just accountability, and let's take a look at this, and what do
yeah,
we need to change? Because they should have been kept in ties with them,
yeah.
and there should have been so much education done with them, and, follow-ups, and I just don't understand.
I agree. I they were there. Um, they could have been yeah, educating. They could have even told them that unless you comply, you're going to lose all 3 of these children. Um, I mean that in itself is a good incentive if you really care about your kids,
Mhm.
you know,
Yep.
to want to comply, to want to learn what's appropriate and what's not when you have children.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Most of it's common sense, but and I I don't understand because Belinda has said that Malaya was a good mom, but something happened when she
Yes.
moved to that trailer.
Yep.
Did she get involved in those rugs too? I mean, I don't know.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, or just that, well, possibly, and just the whole scene there, right? Just, oh,
Yeah.
because I can't imagine.
I
Um,
mean,
I have a question. Oh, sorry, you go ahead, and then I have a question for you.
go ahead. Go ahead.
So, I wanna know, do you ever wonder, because I've talked about it on my channel, because there was 3 people on that property that we 100% know of. The whole Justin thing, who knows? Um, but we know Janie was there too. And I often go back to that and think about that. She was the last person that she's admitted to have heard the kids, if it allegedly, if that's all true. Um, and she admits that she was up outside puttering around on the property.
Hmm.
Um, we know that they didn't go outside. Uh, well, we know they would go outside without a parent. That was eventually admitted, right?
Hmm.
By Malaya and Janie both, finally admitted that. It was also stated that they never closed the door, which I believe, and especially that sliding door. I can see kids doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and, you know, so so where was I going with that? Um,
Don't you hate when that happens?
yes.
I have it happen to me all the time.
Yeah. So if they did go outside, I always had the question, well, who closed that door, right? Um, and then I think about the blanket. Well, who all knew that blanket was in the garbage? Well, Janie's admitted it. Daniel's admitted it. We know now Malaya's admitted it in the information we just received. Um, and do you ever wonder if Janie did something?
I haven't until recently. I saw something somewhere.
And she was irked that that blanket was in the garbage too. I remember.
Yeah,
But I just I talked about it a while ago, and then I kinda just let it go and just but it keeps coming back to me, and I keep thinking, like, she was on the property too,
and
and
she wasn't supposed to
she's
be there.
she wasn't supposed to be there, and she was supposed to go out that morning, and then she changed her whole routine.
Yeah,
Like, there's and then oh, and I guess the reason why it came back to me again was because of her polygraph. She's the only person that they couldn't polygraph because of whatever took place during her polygraph. And I
yes,
mean, sometimes people who have committed a crime do start to act pretty frantic when the polygraph is about when you're going to be
I
administered a polygraph. That's part of the
yeah,
reason of
I could
that's
see
part
her
of the
being
reason.
angry that she even had to take it. Was she swearing? I mean, I could see her being just, you know, blowing, just
Oh
going
yeah,
off, right? I could
yeah,
see her doing that, and then that them saying, "All right, we just need to stop because we're not getting anywhere with her. She's not."
yeah, yeah,
Everything would have been off the charts.
absolutely. I can see that too, but I also can see her. She just kind of reminds me of that type of individual that can really like put on the really crazy act and like for example when Belinda said she walked up and she's sitting on the bench hysterically crying and I'm thinking like I just feel like she's the type of person that could really lay that on and did she do that when during the polygraph act that way and aggressive as well the way she acts
Mhm.
the way we've heard um I don't know like I just sometimes it enters my mind like, what if Malaya and Daniel are telling the truth? And that other person that we know was on the property and is the last person to admit hearing the kids being up and puttering around, knew the blanket was in the garbage. Why was the door closed? Is it possible that Janie opened and let them out and then quietly closed the door? Um, Anyways, just a thought. It's just a
Yeah,
thought that pops into my head because there were 3 people on the property, not just 2.
exactly. And Nero brought up a point, refusing to allow the trailer to be searched.
It
They had
and
a
then
warrant.
that, and then that, yeah, and
And why
everything
was why was Justin crying?
yeah. It's kinda odd for like, I always try to put myself in a person's shoes. Well, I'm not a man, so I try to
Yeah.
think, okay, I try to think of my husband, my 2
It,
boys,
but
would they
Nova, you're
react
not
that
Janie
way?
either.
What's
You're
that?
you're not Janie either. So you really can put yourself in her shoes.
No, definitely not her shoes. No, no, can't
I
even
mean,
go there.
sometimes we can put ourselves in, but there's some personalities that we just
Yeah,
I don't think
definitely
we
not.
yeah we can't.
No, no, but I
Um,
mean, just trying to figure out, the whole crying thing with Justin, and I picture my boys or my husband, and I can't picture them doing that. Um, Not that they
yeah,
wouldn't be upset, they
yeah,
would be
or
upset, but
or not to say that men can't cry,
oh, no, absolutely not.
um,
No.
but in that context
Yeah,
that it
and
would
on
happen, very strange.
yeah, and that was on, the 3rd, right? They went
Yes,
missing on the 2nd,
I think
Belinda
that
showed
was
up on the 3rd, so it's
on the
like,
3rd.
my goodness, the children could still be out there and they would still be alive, like,
Yep,
do you know what I mean? Like, that's yeah,
exactly. And,
so
I go
it
back
always struck
to,
me.
we watch a lot of statement analysis here. Um, a deception detective, in the beginning, he said, although there were red flags and definite guilty knowledge in both Malaya and Daniel's statements, that he didn't think either one was guilty of Red Rum.
Mhm.
And so now that you're saying all this, it kind of brings it back to me again. It's like, okay, and they would have guilty knowledge, right? Because they would know.
Yeah, or wonder. Yeah.
They all had to, probably everybody on that property had to cover up for her.
I wouldn't be covering up for her.
No, me either.
Ooh, I'd be
But
sending her down the river so quick.
we're not their type of people. I think
Right.
Malay is honestly afraid of that family,
Oh, I do too.
with
Yep.
probably very good reason.
Yep.
And you know that Earl's going to defend her brothers are going to defend her.
Yep.
I mean, I've heard it from people in my chat that you don't go against Mackenzie Martell families.
Oh, definitely. 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 I don't
So,
know the Martells too much, but the Mackenzies. So, the other thing I wondered with Malaya was where they said about I had to go back and look at it today, and it said I thought it said in her first interview or early interview. No, it was her first one. It was her first one, I think. Is when she had stated about Daniel not being thinking that saying he wouldn't harm the children or whatever. Uh,
hmm
that was yeah, that was pretty early on, and
yeah,
maybe it was before she even left the property. I don't know. It was their first interview, so her first interview. So to me, a person in that situation, once you get out of there, um, and we know obviously her light bulb went on,
well,
surrounding that
almost
debrief.
immediately, right? She changed her status on Facebook and
Yeah,
took all
like,
the pictures from him off of there and everything.
yeah, whatever took place at that debrief,
My only
seemed
question
to
about
flip the
that is that
switch.
she um, then told her family that he would throw boots at Jack, and he would pin her down to take her phone away from her.
But yeah, and that's what I was gonna ask you. Do you think it's because I mean, the longer and longer a person is out of that situation and away from it, it starts to become more and more abnormal to you, right? You start to kinda come out of the light is coming more and more on, right? And then you're
Yeah,
starting to realize, "Oh my god, yes, this was going on and that was going on, and why was I even thinking that was okay?" And do you think that's
yeah.
what's going on with her?
It could be. I was in a DV situation with my first husband, and for the longest time, I didn't want to. I made excuses. My family didn't know what he was doing. Um, Thankfully, he didn't hurt our daughter. He never did touch our daughter. Our daughter could walk on water as far as he was concerned. Um, but it was me he took everything out on. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, so after I got out of it, um, then more stuff, it's like, wow, why did I put up with that? And as you go through counseling and everything, and you learn, you know, hey, that wasn't okay, and that wasn't your fault. You blame yourself.
Yeah.
You blame yourself for it. If I shouldn't have said that, then he wouldn't have hit me. Um, you
Yeah.
know, and you begin to realize, as you heal, you begin to realize that's not okay.
Right,
That's not okay.
exactly. And that's what I think might be going on with her. And
Yeah,
especially since, we know, I mean, just look at what Daniel has portrayed to us, thinking that's okay, that, the things that he had stated about her and making a big deal out of stuff that's not a big deal. And I don't think it was just him. I think it was him and Janie.
yeah,
And
and Bearwood.
yeah,
Yeah,
and Logan.
yeah,
But sometimes, yeah, it's the whole family you're up against, right? It's not just the partner you're with. Um, and you just think, yeah, the longer she's away from that, um, that she's
and
gonna be
the fact
she's
that he tried to make her look mentally ill
right, right,
really
all of
irritated
that,
me
and that's
because,
all a part of it.
yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
you're just a
They try to
crazy
make you look
bee,
like there's something
Yep,
wrong with you, you know.
right, and I
One
went through
thing
it
that
too.
exactly, one thing my husband used to say to me was, "Come on, Jenny, you can sleep with Daddy tonight." And there was nothing bad going on. I don't want you to think that. It sounds horrible, but Mommy was a bad girl, he'd say.
Oh my god.
You know, so
Yeah.
they do have a way of making you feel like you're a bad person.
Yeah.
Like something wrong with you. And um,
Oh,
you know, I
my ex-husband's, favorite was, "Nobody likes you. Nobody, and they've told me that. I don't even know why I'm with you." Like, just to constantly beat you down, right?
uh,
So, yeah.
yeah,
So, it's the stuff like that with him that I picked up on because you've gone through it and you're like, "Oh, I can see what's going on here," you know?
yeah. And I think because we've gone through it, we see it so clearly.
Oh, yeah.
We recognize the signs right away. I knew right away, and, I thought possible postpartum, but now as I look back on it, I don't think so. It was
No.
outright DV, and yeah, she's probably
Yeah.
healing. I hope she's getting counseling. I hope she's getting help, but because if she don't, um, people tend to make the same mistakes. I know I did.
Yeah. Well, hopefully her lawyer would advise her to do that, right?
Yeah,
Or CPS, now
yeah,
that they're in the hands of CPS again. Daniel's taken every course under the sun, so, but he's gotta wanna change for any of that to work.
yeah, and they can. I honestly believe the classes that he's taking were court ordered
Yeah, I would think
from
so too.
CPS, and when they're court ordered, honestly, a person has to want to change.
Yep, that's right.
I'm not saying the court shouldn't order the classes, okay? But I am saying that a person has to want to change
Yep,
in order for it to work, in order for
yep,
them to learn and to grow and to become responsible human beings, right? And if they don't, you know, eh, they can just say, "Yeah, I took the class." I have seen so many. I worked in the child support office here, and they were court ordered to take those classes, and yeah, no, they didn't care.
no,
They
no.
didn't learn anything,
Yeah,
and yeah,
yeah. My husband said the same thing right away when I read off. I said, "Listen to this," and I was reading it all off, and the very first thing he said as a man, none of that'll work unless he's willing to want change and wants it. And yep,
exactly,
yep.
exactly, yeah. So sad. The other thing about the court document things, so many people are making such a big deal of polygraphs.
Oh, I
I,
know, right? I don't pay
I,
attention to polys ever.
oh my gosh. I'm like, guys, first of all, they redacted four of the questions. That doesn't mean that's the only four that she was asked.
Yeah,
They said, yes, she was
yeah,
being truthful in those four questions and they redacted them. But what about the rest of the questions that she was
yeah.
asked?
Well, I was curious if Chelsea or Belinda knows, and we don't need to know the questions. If how many questions Cody was asked. Was it 4 or more than 4? That's all we need to know. Like, I'm curious because he had to take one too. So, uh, maybe he was only asked 1 and they 4's a lot. I don't know.
Well, if they didn't suspect him, they might not have really asked him that many questions.
Exactly, they might have just asked him 1. "Are you Cody?
I mean,
Are you Cody
obviously,
Sullivan?
you
Okay,
know,
you're good to
and
go."
I feel bad for Cody because he
I do
hadn't been in
too.
those children's lives for 3 years. I mean, come on, leave him alone.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing Malaya had stated. He doesn't pay child support. He paid
Uh,
child support right up until, uh and I mean, to me, that look, I'm all for a man who's not paying child support being held accountable, and I had to deal with all that crap. But, um
yep,
but, like, to say a man is not paying child support when they're out of work is like, it makes it sound like he's a deadbeat dad, he's never paid child support.
I know
Like,
exactly,
would you
right?
not have said,
He
"Well,
lost his
he"
job.
right,
What, you
he's
know,
always paid child support right up until he lost his job. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
It just showed me a clearer picture of some things there with her,
yes.
that
And
kinda
why all of a sudden I'm did is she just not that smart? I mean, because she tells the kids, she tells RCMP that the kids ran away or that they walked into the woods or whatever. They're missing, right? And then she calls twice to tell them, oh, Cody took them to New Brunswick.
yeah,
What?
I just can't. I tried to understand that. Is it because of that psychic friend? The thing I don't get is that in the very beginning of all of this, I'm pretty sure RCMP, I would certainly hope that an officer asked her, "Well, where is your," and again, trying to put myself in somebody else's shoes. Okay, and my
Yeah.
kids were little when my husband and I separated. And he did live in New Brunswick, and
Hmm.
I was here in Nova Scotia with the kids, and they went missing. Well, I'm pretty sure they're gonna ask me right in the beginning of all this, "Well, the ex, right? Do you
Yeah.
think he might have came and taken them, took them for ice cream, or would he have tried to abduct them?" Like, I'm pretty sure that conversation would have been had.
Right.
So
Exactly.
right? So then you're calling them at 12 after midnight saying that you think he might have them, and is that due to that psychic telling her that? Like, where
Could
did
be.
that come from, you know?
I Yeah, I
Strange.
was like, what the heck? All of a sudden, clear blue. Maybe it was because of the psychic, right?
Yeah,
Because that was out of the clear blue, and there was no reason for it. And I
yeah.
have to believe she knew better.
Well, come on. I'm sure they would have already asked her that. That would have already have been.
Well, not only that, she knew Cody.
Yeah.
I mean, she lived with him, had babies with them.
I mean,
He wa
I wouldn't I have to be honest, it's not something I would have pictured my ex doing either, but I'd be, I would. Oh, that was the other thought I had, or did she tell them and she knew that they didn't go check and she was trying to get them to, like, "Well, come on, go check and make sure he doesn't have my kids," so then she called them and said that. I don't know, right? Just trying to put myself in somebody else's shoes because, I would say to them, "I don't think he would, but I want you to check. I want you to make sure he didn't," right? Because of the stuff we know that, especially me and watching all the true crime, that, my son said there are 4 major questions and other non-major questions. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, is that true for Malaya too then? Those 4
4
questions?
specific questions.
Oh.
Hmm.
So ah, wow.
Mhm.
So if Malaya and Daniel were truthful on the 4 major questions. Are they looking at Janie?
See, that's what I'm starting to wonder. I really am. And I mean, part of a poly is not just to see what you do on the poly. A lot of it is more to do with the interaction with the officer. That's a part of an interview interrogation and what they're picking up from you, right? As well, not just the machine. Well, Janie
Yeah.
coming in there, if she did act, I mean, she might have just went in and said, "Yeah, these are my list of my medications," and they may have said, "Oh, we can't do this because of those 2 medications. We don't, because that can be as well, or alcohol, or." But I mean, if she went in there and behaved in a way, uh, due to guilt, they wouldn't be able to do it either because,
Yeah.
yeah. Not saying that, so just speculating, guys. Speculating.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Everything that we're talking about here, we're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
We're just trying to figure out what happened to these beautiful babies, and we want to know, where is the RCMP pointing, right? They're leaking these documents. Where are they pointing to?
Yeah.
You know, if
Now,
we're seeing things, that they saw them,
yeah.
because we're not smarter than those investigators.
Yeah.
So if we're able to pick out some of these things, and I like to go by statement analysis, even sometimes more than behavior analysis, because I think behavior can kind of be trained sometimes. But statement, your brain likes to always revert to experiential memory. And so for a person to try to continue to tell a lie is very difficult. And for deception detective to say that neither one was capable of red rum, but they both had guilty knowledge.
But Linda, I was just gonna say yesterday or the day before, I can't remember what day it was I did my live, Ginger had told me that as well. And we pulled it up from Ginger. I can't remember what newspaper that was from, what media that was from. Ginger will remember. And it did say that.
That they took a few of them, didn't they? 3 of
Malay and
them?
Daniel. I thought it was
Yeah.
4 altogether. Ginger
Yeah.
will remember. Maybe you can pull it up and show Belinda.
So then they change up the questions every time. Are they asking the right ones? Okay. Because I've always wondered, I put it out there, accidental overdose. Did those kids get into something? If Malay and Daniel, one
Yeah.
or the other, both, were doing rugs, is it possible the kids could have gotten into it?
Yeah. Hi,
Because
Belinda believes.
you what?
I was just saying,
Oh, I
Belinda
see.
believes said hello. She was over at mine, and then she finally got over here. Thanks for finding
Hello.
us.
Welcome in.
I can probably close mine out now.
So,
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
because when kids get together, and I could see, I heard it enough from Janie, didn't we? Come on, Jackie. Come on, Jackie. I'm sure it wasn't said
Yeah,
in that tone.
exactly.
But you know what I'm saying? If they saw parents doing something, they could imitate when they're not supervised, right? Or, God forbid, chemicals underneath the sink. It doesn't matter what it was.
That's right.
That's what I wondered. So then I wondered, okay, did they ask the right questions? Not, did you red rum Lily, did you red rum Jack, but did you dispose of their remains? Did they have an accident? You know, I'd like to know what questions were asked.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll never know that. But
No,
yeah, I hear what you're saying, and
but and then when push comes to shove, those polygraph tests just are not permissible in court.
exactly.
Not in Canada, not in the United States. So they're just an investigative tool to help the
Exactly.
investigators determine if they're telling the truth or not.
Yeah. If an investigator who has completed a polygraph went in and sat in the courtroom and stated stuff that he learned through that, for example, uh, yes, Janie was hysterical. We couldn't do the like he's allowed to testify to that, her behavior.
Right.
They're allowed to testify as an investigator as to what they're seeing and what they've gained during that. Sometimes people say stuff in like Chris Watts ended up saying something there in his polygraph that wasn't even part of the questions or anything, but she, was able to speak
Yeah.
to that and some other stuff. But yeah. Can you give me 1 second? I have to run downstairs and because my husband's late and just pull the groceries in the house
Oh, sure. Not a
and,
problem.
and I'll be right back. I'll get
Okay.
caught up.
All right. So let's see. See what everybody is saying here. Maybe the right questions were not asked. Yeah, we don't know. I would like to think that um that they're smarter than us and they would have asked the right questions, but I don't know. They wouldn't even have to get into the stash of dirty spoon to eat cereal. That's true. That's very true. It's very true. Are they responsible for the children going missing? We don't know, right? I mean, we can say this though. Malaya, Daniel, and Janie were on the property when the kids went missing. And, I mean, at the very least, the mother is responsible for the children, right? So, in a way, yes. Absolutely, Neuro. Pseudoscience, any psychopath can pass one as sympathetic system is not firing right. I agree. I agree. Wasn't Ted Bundy passed and the oh the river guy. I can't think of his name. What are those rocks hanging from the front door porch for? How heavy was that wrench above the door? Was there an accident? Well, wrenches are typically heavy, right? I mean, uh, I don't. If you're worried, like Daniel said, about a bear coming through the door, first of all, the wrench is not going to do anything to a bear. I mean, seriously, guys. Um, yeah, I don't know. That was just weird, but we don't know. We don't know. Was there an accident? I don't know. No, I don't think racism is a part of this, Barb. I really don't. I Daniel wasn't too far off with what he said about red room questions. Yeah, exactly. Um, cover up. We could do a happy dance while we wait. Let's do a happy dance while we wait. Sounds good. Um, do you want to do Bewitched or do you want to do Granny's Hot Tea? We're bringing the tea today. Let's.
On Granny's porch, the sun sets low. With a steaming cup, she steals the show. Neighbors gather round, hearts in bloom, for that smoking hot tea and the latest room. Whispers of love, tales of the town. In her sweet voice, no secrets drown. With laughter and stories, the evening flies. Granny's hot tea brings the world to life. Whispers of love, tales of the town. In her sweet voice, no secrets drown. With laughter and stories, the evening flies. Granny's hot tea brings the world to life. Yet in whispers of love, tales of the town. In her sweet voice, no secrets drown. With laughter and stories, the evening flies. Granny's hot tea brings the world to life.
There we go. Hey, we got a picture now, Nova.
Hi.
Hi. All
Huh.
right.
Well, my husband was back, and I don't know why the groceries didn't come. Maybe I put them in for tomorrow instead of today. I don't know.
Oh. All right. So CB said, Linda, I wouldn't take the RCMP doc release personally. I think it's a message to everyone in the public that they are working on it and cannot release relevant info without hindering the case. 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah, me too. I would not take it personal either because nobody thinks anything of it. Like nobody's saying, "Oh, Cody Sullivan." No, like I've
Yeah.
talked to people that have read those articles. Nobody's even mentioning it, that part of it. Like it's like
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, whatever. I haven't heard anybody even mention it.
I think if anything, it only makes Malaya look bad.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's almost
You
like
know?
they just wanted us to know, like, here's what's we're dealing with, like having to be, sent in this direction, for no good reason, really.
By
Um,
by the mother of the children.
yeah,
That's pretty sad.
yeah.
You
And I
know?
mean, not that every avenue shouldn't be checked,
Yeah.
but I mean,
But they already had talked to Cody
had
at
they
that
already
point?
talked to him at that point?
I mean,
'Cause I
I
thought,
thought they did. I don't know.
well, I thought they showed up at Belinda's around 2:30 in the morning or something like that, and that's at 12 that's just 12 I think it was 12:35 they said after midnight that Malay had called them and told them that
Okay.
or maybe I'm looking at the wrong dates.
Yeah.
Belinda would be able to confirm. But again, it's just I don't understand the fact that I'm sure I would hope in the beginning they would have asked her that. That would have already have been a discussion,
Right.
uh, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you would think, you know, common sense would say check with the biological father, make sure he doesn't have them, right? I mean,
Mhm.
I think that'd be one of the first things that they do.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
Barb, here's the thing. Um the only one left right now is Meadow. And I sincerely hope Meadow doesn't go back to either family right now.
Yeah.
It's my opinion.
I can't imagine that, she would. I'd be shocked.
Yeah. I ugh, I can't even imagine that. And prayerfully, Belinda will get guardianship of Jack and Lily. And if we have a miracle and those babies are still alive out there somewhere, they'll go home to Belinda where they
Can you
belong.
imagine?
Oh,
Wouldn't that
wouldn't that
be
be awesome?
oh my gosh.
I'll throw a
Ye
party.
Yes, yes.
We'll have
Yeah,
an online party. Oh, gosh. It'll
yeah.
be a bunch of us crying our eyes out, is what it
Oh,
would
I
be.
guess there will be. Yep, there sure
Oh,
will
man.
be.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
Uh, That would be awesome. Rob, you feel like square dancing? That would be fun too.
Yep, fingers crossed, Belinda. So Crazy Town says S killers who passed polygraph test. Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer, Charles Cullen, uh,
Malaya called in the wee hours of the third, or you could say the night of the second. She was making sure that all avenues were checked.
CB. M called in the wee hours of the third. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. And then they showed up there around 2:30 at Belinda's through the night, and they went to Earl's through the night as well. Um, I mean, they were already gonna go there. That's a definite, right? Because they went to
Yeah,
Earl's. But, yeah. And I know she said to Belinda in text too, she told Belinda they were coming and that they'd wanna speak with Cody.
hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
Um,
why she would have to call them and tell them that because why wouldn't it, he would have asked her that in the beginning, I would think,
yeah,
unless
I
they were
don't
so
know.
focused on the woods. Bye, Belinda, lots of love
Lord.
to you.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering, and this is, in my opinion, the reason Malaya or Daniel didn't ask Janie if the kids were there because they knew something wouldn't have, my opinion only. Yeah, I don't know. I thought she said she heard the car come into the driveway. She's a light sleeper, and the police came about 3 a.m.
Mhm. Yeah, sounds about right.
Night, Belinda. Have a wonderful evening.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm behind here.
Oh, that's okay to go ahead.
Did they go to the brother's house who called Janie that morning? I I don't know. Have you heard anything, Nova? I would think they checked that whole road. That's all. relatives, isn't
Did they
it?
go to the brother's house who called Janie that morning? I would hope so. I talked about that the other day, and I said I would certainly hope so, right? They had to have because they said they're checking all
They're
those
checking
people that
cell
were
phones.
interviewed, those numbers, the how that number was up so high. That's people in the circle of the
Yeah.
family and the
Yep.
children, right? Yeah.
I agree. I'm sure that they probably did.
Mhm.
Maybe even Malaya initially told them no, it would not be Cody, and then later, when the kids weren't found, thought that they should check all avenues.
Yeah, that's what I had said earlier, that maybe she was kinda starting to get panicky and thinking, You better go check and make sure," right? Um, I mean, I know I'd be wanting them to check everything, like yeah.
I mean, you guys are so nice. My initial thing is, my thinking is, she was saying, don't look here, look over there.
And I mean, maybe that is it. I don't know. I always just try to put myself in somebody else's shoes
Yeah,
and if it was me and which I was in the same circumstances, husband in New Brunswick, me here, I would be saying the same thing. Like I don't care if you think he did or not. Go check. Like, you know.
yeah. Um, it. I don't think I would have done that because I know, but my ex and I had a good relationship as far as the children go, because he was a good father.
Yeah.
Um, and so I don't think I would, if my children would have went missing. I don't, I would have told them where he lived, would have gave him his phone number, would have, actually, he would have been already on his way here because I would have already called him.
Well, and
Um,
that's the
that's the
thing
kind of
too.
relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have had to have called my ex, and he would have said, "Well, he would have said, "I'm on my way." But see, she wouldn't have had that, right? Because it was different
Yeah.
with how things
Different with
were.
them.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah. So deep down in your heart, you'd
But
have
I
to have
mean,
that confirmation.
she could have reached out to Belinda.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's there at Cody's. I don't know though, right. Not that I wouldn't trust. I mean, just again, thinking of my husband and even my mother-in-law, I would never think she would lie to me. She was a sweet, sweet woman, my ex-mother-in-law, who's passed away
Yeah,
now, but I would still I would still want everything, yeah,
gotcha.
just in case, like,
Well, Malaya has said some not so nice things, so,
yep, yep,
and blocked Belinda, so she's been pretty
yep,
vocal about that. But yeah, she's making some really stupid mistakes, in my opinion.
yep, yep.
No, hi, Bobby. Nothing has changed. I'm sorry. We're just kind of putting our heads together to see if we're all on the same page, and it kind of sounds like we all are.
Yep, I would say.
Definitely are.
Yeah, not much has changed for me except that, uh, I'm back at thinking more about Janie again, like, she just keeps coming back, I just keep thinking, "Oh gosh," we keep looking at, if something nefarious did take place, which we don't know that something did, it just certainly seems that way, with
Yeah,
everything we know, but that Janie's a possibility as well, like
yeah. And I never thought about her as being the one that could have done something. But I'm seriously considering it now. I mean, it is definitely a possibility. I was just more along the lines of, she helped cover things up. She helped rake. She wasn't raking for a swimming pool.
mhm,
You know, um she's out there raking um tire tracks, I believe. And
Did
now
you
I'm
know oh, sorry.
that's okay, go ahead.
Did you notice how worked up she was? I mean, that whole interview, she was worked up, but how much more worked up she was when she talked about the driveway?
When she talked about the what?
The driveway on that
Yeah,
CBC interview?
yeah.
I mean, you could hear her panting and everything, like, she was like, it
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, she was very worked up.
and that's what I
Um,
wonder if she was like that, right, when they tried to do the poly on her,
yeah,
and, like, what is working you up that bad? I mean,
yeah,
I
good
know the
point.
kids are missing, but, I mean, look at Belinda and her interview, right? Like, I mean, she's not going and when she was talking about the police coming to the house, she's not portraying herself that way in the way Janie did, like, in panting and
Right.
arms flinging, like, her arms were flinging, and, like, I've
Yeah,
watched that over and over, like, it's like, what is going through your head right now that you're that worked up at this point? Like and the door too, when she talked about the door.
yeah, the door, she was yeah. And she was really eagle-eyeing that reporter as she opened the door and closed it.
Was she
Did you see
ever?
how she was
Yes.
staring at her?
Yes, the body language and her chin was like,
Yeah,
stuck out, and her eyeballs were and
yeah,
usually when you're showing sympathy, you're you're kinda pulling your eyebrows down and in, like,
yeah,
her eyebrows are, like, up on her forehead and
yeah.
yeah, like, just very frantic.
And just when she talked about Jack and Lily,
Oh,
there
not
was
nice.
there was disdain in her voice for those kids.
Yes.
It was awful.
Yeah, I find her very triggering. I had a really, really hard time listening to
I
her.
mean, I have step grandchildren and I love them babies.
Yeah.
I could never talk about them like that. It's awful.
Yeah.
I, was she probably irritated they're playing outside when she's trying to sleep? Maybe, but it's if that were me telling the story, I'd be laughing. I'm trying to sleep in here and they're outside playing on the swings and
Right.
having a good old time and
And
I thought I might as well just go out and join them. That'd be me,
exactly.
right?
And wouldn't you wish, like, even if it did irritate the heck out of you, right? That,
Yeah,
part of what you had there on that property is gone now. You got 2 kids there and they're doing their kid thing. But, um, now they're missing. And they've been missing a long time now when the interview was done, like, we're past the point of,
yep,
them being recovered out of the woods alive.
yeah,
Wouldn't
for
you
sure.
think that she would wanna hear them again? Like, you wouldn't even be talking like that. Like, you would be
Yeah,
to the point where you're like, "I wish I could just hear them again." You'd be missing it now and just wishing that, I wish I could hear that again." Not still talking like that, like, they're still there and they're still annoying the heck out of ya and, like,
yeah,
oh,
and talking more about the fact that she hasn't been able to see
mhm,
her grandchildren, right?
mhm, yeah,
And Meadow,
and the dog. It's all about
you know,
yeah,
and it's like you didn't care about them. You
yeah,
cared about your grandchildren and Meadow.
yeah,
It just, yeah, yeah. You give me something to think about here. I really don't think that um, it's. I guess I never really thought about her possibly being, you know, to blame here. but I
Yeah.
don't know. You have to kind of wonder, did what happened? Why were
Mhm.
the ropes on the swing changed? Is my question.
Yeah, the brand new ropes.
Yeah. Why were those ropes changed?
Mhm.
Because you can see in pictures from Google Maps that they were brown,
Yep.
those ropes. They were there. They were brown. The ropes were there for the swings.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, when she had that interview, it's almost like she was trying to compete with Belinda's backyard or something.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what a lot of people said, right?
Yeah.
And, but then to use duct tape on those ropes as if that's going to hold a child.
Yeah. Well, I sure to God hope there was a knot under that duct tape. God.
I know it. Well, if we couldn't see it if there was,
Mhm.
you know, and I was like, "What? She duct taped those? Did she?" Oh, yeah. I was so shocked by that.
Yeah.
Um, but then I did see the other picture where on the day that they were reported missing, there was a wood pile where those swings
Yes.
were. So
Yeah.
she didn't hear them. They weren't. I mean, maybe they were playing on the wood pile,
Yeah.
but they
Well,
weren't
I said
playing on the
picking up
swing.
wood looking for bugs and stuff because they sure as heck weren't playing on the swings. Maybe
Yep.
one could have fit on it, but I don't know. I don't even know if one could have the way that pile looks like it was kinda falling out towards that path.
Oh my gosh. Could that pile have fallen over on top of the children?
Oh, I've thought of that too, yeah. I've thought of that. Yep, because
Interesting.
they can, but you think that the dogs would have picked up some
Yeah.
scent of red stuff there.
You would think so, right? And
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but from everything I've heard, the only scent that was picked up was at the end of the driveway, not leading from the house all the way to the driveway, right?
What I always understood was that it stopped at the end of the driveway, but I'd have to go back and that because that was so long ago. I'd have to go back and, reread it.
So you're thinking that it went from the house all the way, stopped at the end of the driveway.
That's what I thought it said, that it stopped at the end of the driveway,
Okay.
but I'd
Yeah,
have to go
need
back
to
and
research that because I'm thinking
yeah.
like with Sebastian, there was no scent around the home at all.
Isn't
At
that
all.
crazy?
Yeah. So that means he was carried out.
So that, video of him well, it's not him, obviously, they thought might be him going
Hmm.
across the lawn with a flashlight or something, so that's not him, or the dogs would have picked that up.
There was the flashlight video. The mob crew did a really good video on that. Two people were coming from the house with flashlights, and one person was going slower as if they were carrying somebody, right?
Hmm.
They were going much
Wow.
slower.
Wow.
And there was a car on the corner of Kellen and Stafford. And that car um, triggered some motion lights on the house across the street, which they weren't, I don't think, were expecting. Um, and then all of a sudden, the one flashlight, the one disappeared. So I did it go in the car with, I don't know, right?
Mhm.
And the other one went running back at a fast pace toward the house.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what we're thinking is that, and the lights were on at the house at 3 a.m. You could see from a camera in the backyard of the house from neighbors, the neighbor right behind the backyard of the house. The lights went on at 3 a.m. in the house, and that's when that
I
car was there. And you could see them going slowly, slowly, slowly walking to the vehicle. And then all of a sudden, the flashlight went back at a pretty fast clip. So we're thinking that Sebastian was carried out to that car and they left.
Well, something's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
He's so sweet. My gosh, what a sweet boy.
oh, I know.
I felt
I
so
know.
sorry for him in that video on his birthday when they were at that place where they were doing it's like a game show thing,
Yeah.
and the way they were speaking,
Yeah.
you could hear them speaking to him.
That
Poor little
was
bugger.
Chris Proudfoot's sister was talking
Yeah.
to him like that. It was awful.
Yeah. So again, it's like another the whole family thing, right? Because she was
Yep.
being the way she
Yep.
was talking to him, like, frig off. Like, leave him
Yep.
alone.
Yeah. How can you talk to a child like that? I mean, who has, a disability. I don't know what they
Right.
call it.
And
But how can you talk
right.
to a
And on
child like
top of
that?
that, he has autism, but even if he didn't have autism, I still wouldn't do that. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, like,
Yeah. Just
yeah.
horrible. And I don't know, all you have to do is go and listen to one of his father's videos. His father ends up sobbing, and I'm crying right along with him. It's just horrible.
Oh, I've watched, some of his
So,
father's.
yeah,
Yeah, sad. He
sad.
reminds me of, Dylan's father. Like, they're just going so out of their minds
Yeah.
that because their child's gone, and there's
Yep.
no like, my friend was here yesterday, and we were, of course, talking about Lily and Jack, and, I said to her, like, I had a friend who lost her little boy, he was hit by a car, and there was an ending to that. She was able to bury him. Um,
Aw,
she never got over it because you never get over that, right? That's just how it
no,
is, but
no.
with the
People who
missing
say,
child or children, that is so different, like,
yeah,
because they're going out of their minds
yep,
trying to understand and figure out where their babies are.
yep.
It's so sad.
It's horrible. It,
Yeah.
I can't even, I mean, we can't imagine unless we've been through it, right?
No, no.
And I really try to stay away from the word closure because I have heard so many of these parents say there's no closure even if, even if there's justice because their child's still gone,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
There's
Yep,
resolution, but there's no closure,
right.
you
So
know.
sad.
Yeah. And sometimes I wonder why we even do this. I laugh because otherwise we'd cry.
Oh gosh,
When I
yeah.
when I think of Jack and Lily, I think of Sebastian and little Dylan Ayler and Michael Monkey Vaughn and these other kids. It breaks my heart. I don't understand how these parents endure that.
Mhm.
I don't get it.
Yep, I know. A lot of it for me doing it is I'd like to see change,
Yes.
Um, and that's, like I'll do whatever Belinda would want me to do to help her to, like try to make change, like with that whole CPS thing, when that she starts the ball rolling on that and starts looking into it, and whatever she
Right.
wants to do to try to make change in Nova Scotia to certain things in that system, like I'll be right there to support her and help her in any way
Yeah.
because, outside of dealing with, you know, certain parents who shouldn't be parents at all. On top of that, we've got to look at what's going
Yeah.
on with these systems, right? They are there in place to protect children. That's the purpose of them. So,
And how many have had CPS called?
it always
Almost,
seems.
there's Sebastian. I don't know if Dylan, I don't know. But there's Sebastian, little Emmanuel,
Yep, I was just gonna say. Mhm.
and
Sad.
Jack and Lily, and you think,
Summer.
your Summer, it's like, what? I
Uh,
remember back in the 80s when my kids were little, um, the even the rumor of anyone having CPS called, they took your kids away.
yeah, I
I
know
mean,
it was the extreme
it
of
was
now.
it was extreme, yeah.
Mhm. And they've
And
gone
now it
too
seems
far the
like
other
they don't
way.
do anything.
Too far the other way. They had to correct that, and I get that, but now they've gone too far to the other end of the spectrum. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah.
And how come it took so long to get there? I mean, why are we at this point where now you've got parents harming their children? I don't get that either, but and CPS has been called in, called in, called in, called in, and nothing was done to protect these babies.
Yeah.
You know, what what isn't our society getting about children are our future? You know,
Yep.
they're the ones that are going to be running our government someday,
Exactly. You wanna do the best that you can with them, right?
and we're not protecting them.
Yep.
So I agree. If I was in Nova Scotia, I'd be right there alongside you and Belinda.
Mhm.
Um, Unfortunately, there's probably no way I'd ever even get to visit, but um, I agree. The thing I guess I do is um, the awareness,
Yeah.
because I've said I'm not stopping with Sebastian. I've got a short out every day that I put out for Sebastian. I also talk
Mhm.
about him every day. Um, and now Lily and Jack, I'm not quitting on them either. You
Yeah.
know,
Uh, Dior Coons, they never found him either, did they? That's another strange one.
Aiden
Remember?
Clune. No, they're
He
very
went
close. They found a shoe, and the
did
mob
they?
crew was really hoping that they were going to find him this year.
So they do believe he's in the woods then.
Yeah, they found his
No.
shoe a
That was
year ago.
another sad one.
Yeah, yeah, they found his shoe. Um, so they really thought that they knew the area. But if they're drugged by animals,
Mhm.
it could be anywhere. That's what I'm thinking about Emmanuel Harrell.
Yes. Yeah.
He's been drugged.
Yeah.
If his dad's telling the truth, I mean.
So did he say that's where he put him? Because they had him out along the highway there is the last I saw.
I mean, they're not saying anything.
Okay.
They're just saying he was there with them. They're not giving any kind of update on that other than, yes, he was out there. No, they didn't find Emmanuel, and that's it,
Okay.
which is really strange. So I don't know
And the mother's
until
still saying that, uh, he was abducted.
he was abducted. Yeah,
Goodness.
which they have video. I don't know why she's still sticking to that story when they have video of just her.
Yeah, and you can't see the baby.
So, and no one else around.
She's there changing in an imaginary baby.
Yeah. And then they find all this blood in the house, and they took even the floorboards and everything,
Oh, yeah.
and no pictures of the baby, and none of the baby's clothes. Everything gone from the house.
Yeah, and Justin was saying last night that he doesn't even have a record of birth or something.
That what?
Oh, sorry. Last night when I was watching another creator,
Oh,
um, it was said that there there's no record of his birth. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
oh,
So, like, did
wow.
she have him at home without him even being recorded as being born, or like?
You know, sometimes did you hear what Jake did to his
Hmm.
daughter?
Yes, and I wondered if that, like, because that little fella, you can tell there's something going on with him. And
Yeah,
I'm wondering, did he give him a good shake or abuse her so bad when she was pregnant? Because that can happen, and then the baby's born with some
yeah.
disabilities, or yeah,
'Cause,
that's disgraceful. Why is he out of see, that's another reason why I do this, because that's another system. Why is
exactly.
he even out to be able to do this?
Because of California's woke, soft on crime laws with Newman Gas, can't never think of his last name,
But it's not
with
just there.
Gavin
There's
Newsom.
issues in Canada. It's all the stories you hear, and not just with children. There's women who, and then there's men too, but I mean, statistically, it's women and children, because these people are let out, let out, let out, let out. Like,
Yep. Yeah, he got 6 months and 48 months probation. Six
yeah,
months in
that,
jail,
oh, 6 months.
48 months
I thought
probation.
I heard wrong. I thought I must have heard that wrong. They must have
No,
said 6 years,
it's true.
and that's not even enough.
It's
That's
true.
disgraceful.
I oh, you know, and that little girl actually, I mean, about all she's doing is breathing, right? And
Right.
even that is only because she's suctioned out constantly. Um, I mean, she only has
And
three
then
percent
there's
brain
stuff on top
function.
of that yeah, and then there's stuff that she would have to live with on top of that, that people don't realize, because there'd be wound care, because she'd probably most
Yep,
likely develop some sores, and there's
yep,
infections, and,
yep.
like, it's just, ugh, real nice, just
Well,
disgraceful.
maybe you do know. With 3% brain function, does she even know she's she's a person?
Well, it would depend on what part of the brain, I would think, but, I mean, I've cared for severely disabled people, for a majority of my career, because I'd worked in mental health, and it ranged from severely disabled to, schizophrenics and bipolars and, uh uh, everything. Um, all under one roof, but different wards. But, yeah, like, some of them, you know and it's because you get to know them, and you get to, when you really, really, really know an individual, what they're showing of
What it
happiness or whatever, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's hard to say, because it would depend on what part, right? Like, she
a part of her
may
brain.
not. She may just be a living body, and that's it. Like,
Yeah,
it's sad.
it's so sad. He
Yeah.
and you're right. Change. In my opinion, Gavin Newsom needs to be out of California, um, because he's the one that got those judges in there to be soft on crime.
Mm,
When
I think
when
so.
a father, they said that there was what 7 different fractures to her ribs. Somewhere they were in
Oh
different
my
stages of
goodness.
healing.
Like, that's a
So
monster. That's a monster. That's not somebody that should be back
You
out
know,
on the street. That's a forever lock the door and
yeah,
never let him out.
exactly. He should have been sentenced to life in prison
Yeah,
without the possibility of parole, in my opinion. He basically red rummed that child.
right. And that's a child. Like, that's
10,
not a grown
10 weeks old
and a
when that happened.
female. Yeah, and your
Yeah,
own blood that you're supposed to have the instinct to protect and do that to somebody else if they harm your child, you know? It's
I
disgusting.
know.
Why are they back out on the
And to
street?
be able to go forward and have more children, and that aunt has taken in his 2-year-old and the son now.
His
That same
2-year-old
woman,
and son?
yeah,
Oh, I didn't know
it
he
was,
had more kids.
yeah, yep, a 2-year-old, but then the boy was hers, was Rebecca's. But she's taken them all in on top of the baby prom, or she's not baby anymore, Promise, the little girl.
Wow. She's got her
What
hands
a
full.
what a saint, huh?
Yeah, and well, they're yeah, get them into well, the 2-year-old, you probably wouldn't be able to put him into therapy, but the 16-year-old and try to teach him better so he doesn't continue the cycle.
Yeah. Um, absolutely, because they said that the CPS was called out there last Thursday for
Yes.
another, and we're thinking it was the 2-year-old because they removed the 2-year-old from the home
You
before they arrested that.
so take the 2-year-old, but leave
So,
that little baby.
yep,
Well, they're both babies.
yeah. Well, they're saying that somebody, I think I saw it somewhere where they said he's was not probably not 7 months. He was more like 9 months old. So maybe it's accurate that they didn't have a birth certificate on him.
Mm, that's what I somebody had said on a now, I don't know if it's true or not. Like, I
Yeah,
if I hear something on your show, I pretty much know that you've checked it out and it's
yeah,
likely to be true, or you'll state that I've heard it. I
I
don't
usually do.
know if
Or
it's
yeah,
true or yeah, yeah.
exactly. If
So I
I
and I don't know if that's true, but it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't surprise me
it
with
wouldn't surprise me either.
yeah.
Nothing surprises me with that family. It's
Mhm.
horrible,
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
But well, we're going on 2 hours, so
Yeah, I'm gonna have
probably
to
yeah,
skedaddle.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank you
I'm
so
gonna share
much.
my yeah. Thank you. It was really fun.
That was a
Um,
great conversations,
I
and,
think so. I think we covered most of the document. I think that was out there,
mhm,
and hopefully give everybody a little bit of peace that no, the case isn't cold, not yet, and I don't think it's
no,
going to be.
no,
Um, so I really am believing. First of all, standing with Belinda in my prayers that she will get guardianship, and you know, but then secondly that we'll get justice.
yeah, yeah,
Somebody's going to be put behind bars for whatever happened, because
yes.
either way, in my opinion, it's criminal.
Oh, it is. There was major neglect there for those children with 3 adults on a property to be
Yep,
able to wander off.
wander off. People were saying that they were, um, looked like they were not being fed properly.
Yeah,
Um,
untidied, no winter
yeah,
clothing. Well,
yeah.
jackets, whatever. Yeah,
So they were definitely they need to be charged for that. both of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. My friend that was here yesterday, I'll just leave with a bit of a happy note. She lives in the town that it's called Westville, and it's is the closest town to Lansdowne. Like, it would have been where they got the pizza, the Acropole pizza, um, and they stopped at the medical clinic slash drugstore. Um, so they would have traveled through there on their way home. So it's where people in that area travel through that town more than probably any other town.
Yeah.
Um, she was here yesterday and she said, "Geez, on my way here," she said, "everywhere I turned there was a Jack and Lily sign because she got here and then I had three of them, two in the window and one in the front yard." and she
That's
and
funny.
and she goes, "You got 3 of them." Well, one I'm gonna give we were gonna put it on the pole down the street, but the winds are so bad here, my husband said it's gonna get ripped off, and I'd rather it go somewhere where it's gonna be cared for and not be able to blow away.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna put it on the pole. My son and his, girlfriend are gonna take it, but, um, yeah, so, uh, she said when she was driving through the town of Westville coming to my place, she said, "They're everywhere. They're everywhere." And I said, "Good, good." That's what I
That's
wanna
awesome.
hear.
That
Yeah,
is good to hear. That's really
yeah,
good to hear
yeah, and
because
that'd be the town that they would probably most, frequent. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome. I love to hear
yes,
that.
yeah. So
To hear
so they're
that.
out there. They're out there. The the signs are making their way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if they're out there, then hopefully, I can't imagine that somebody's hiding them.
No,
It's been
I
almost
would
four
be shocked.
months.
I'd be
I
very
just,
shocked.
I just, I, I hate the thought that they're no longer on this earth. I hate that, but I can't. I have a hard time thinking that somebody has been hiding them for this
Mhm.
long.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's possible they would have been seen.
Oh, I agree. I agree, and everything you would have to do to try to, maintain them, keep them quiet, you'd have to, purchase everything for them, you know?
Yep,
So
yep.
there'd be a lot to it to try to hide that. Yeah.
You'd have you'd have to have enough people. I mean, what are the odds that um you could keep it quiet that long? I
Yeah.
just don't see that happening. Really
No,
don't,
I don't either.
unfortunately. But thank you so much for being with us. We really enjoyed it.
Thank you, and thank you
We'll
for
have to do
having
it
me.
again. And if we can't figure out how to do it together to um, live stream simultaneously, I'll come over to your house next time.
Yeah, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, next time. Well, anytime we do this, we'll take turns. You can come over to mine next time. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it
Okay.
out. I'll probably, I should have read about it before I come on, but I always seen that thing because I've been on a few other people's channels before. I've never done it before. They have always asked me, "Do you want to go to your channel too?" And I'd say, "No." But then I thought, "Well, tonight let's try that." And then, but the button's not there, so I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I'll
So it
figure it
might be
out.
something I did on my end, or maybe I
I don't
don't have
know.
that feature. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll figure it
So,
out. I'll read about it.
okay. I
Yeah.
will
Well,
too.
thank you. Take care,
Thank you.
everyone. Lots of love, lots of positive vibes.
Yes.
Bye.
All right. Bye bye. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.